Well, nobody asked for it, but I went ahead and bought 10 tools on Amazon just to make glue ups easier. And at the end of the video, I'll be ranking them in order of most recommended, wow, to what a complete waste of money. How do I make it stop? So be sure to stick around for that. I'm sorry. This first tool might actually be the most intriguing tool out of the whole bunch. It is the Deadwood Crafted Tools High Pressure Glue Injector. The Amazon listing claims that it can provide up to 550 psi of pressurized power to apply glue in small places. We'll see about that. So the first thing that came to mind when I saw this tool was all those videos I've seen where people try to use like a shop vac to suck wood glue through a crack. Surely if this thing's capable of producing 550 psi, it's capable of squeezing some glue into a crack, right? Let's find out. Put the O-ring on the brass 32nd. Screw that on. And then to load glue, you can go ahead and thread this off. That comes off and then the plunger comes out. Okay, lift and peel. Well, so far it ain't lifting and it ain't peeling. Come on. Oh my goodness. Try not to make a mess. They don't give you a funnel or anything, so all right, that's probably enough for this experiment. Not gonna lie, it's pretty satisfying. Looks like paint. Oh, it's already coming out. Uh-oh, making a mess already. I guess you do it like a syringe where you hold it upside down and then you push until you get all the air out. Oh, there it goes. Now I think we're ready. Nice and charged up. All right, I'm no Jonathan Katzmosis or Scott Walsh or Suman. This is not a scientific experiment. It's just a experiment. Now, let's see. Sort of. It's just kind of making a big mess on top here. I mean, not really. It's got a leaky tip. I'm gonna say no. Let's go ahead and put it at the edge of the table and try to put a vacuum through and see if it sucks that glue through. Let's try it. Totally unscripted, not part of the plan, but hey, I really don't want to use my Festool for that, even though a lot of people do. I guess I'll do it. Anything for the video. All right. You can see how much it, maybe you can see. You can see how much it squirted out that didn't actually get down in there. So let's see what happens if we use the vacuum. I got the Festool on full suction. Okay. So maybe it's made for bigger cracks than this, but because neither of those really work that well. Maybe the whole glue in a vacuum thing is actually a myth too. YouTubers lie. I don't know what other use case it really has. I mean, actually, I think I do know where this is really good. It's in case you need to glue your part from really far away. That's what they were trying to do. Check it out. Oh, no. All right, maybe not. I thought it was gonna work a lot better. Okay, moving on. This next tool is probably the least intriguing, probably because so many woodworkers use it. The Glue Bot by FastCap. Now, I actually previously owned a Glue Bot, but I have no idea where it is, so I had to cough up the $9 for a new one. Now, to test the usefulness of this thing, I think we need to compare it to a standard 16-ounce glue bottle, because this is probably what most woodworkers have in their shop already. Although, apparently, over 17,000 of you have this. To be fair in these tests, I'm going to load it up with some Titebond 2 so that we're using the same exact glue. And actually, even though I already have 2 open bottles, I'm going to go ahead and start with a fresh 16-ounce Titebond 2 bottle. See, the Glue Bot, right? It's low. I squeeze it a little bit. The glue comes up and I can do like that. Okay, full bottle of Titebond. Squeeze it, the glue comes up, and I can run a bead like that. Now, I think you know where this is going. Almost empty bottle of Titebond. Yeah, that's a no. So that's one kind of cool thing about the glue bot. Centering piece, right? Gently squeeze and pull. Oh, it came out. Try again. All right, keep it down. Downward pressure. Okay. Did it put the glue in the middle? Yeah, it did. Can a regular bottle of Titebond do that? Put it down, squeeze, and pull. I mean, I think that's close enough. I've never been super obsessive about getting the glue bead right in the middle. Yorker tip, which is a very fine point tip. Now I'll just take a piece of scrap red oak. That's all it's good for, right?
How dare you?
Let's see how thin this bead is. Okay, I don't know if you can even see that. So it's a very fine bead, very fine. Titebond. So I'm gonna try to be as gentle as I can. If you go really fast, you can kind of string it out like that. Okay. But you can see I still, even at towards the end over here, I still didn't even get close. Is it better than a standard Titebond bottle? I'm not really sure still. You know, honestly, I've been actually kind of impressed. So we'll see where this ranks in the end. On to the next tool. All right, this next tool has the potential to be the most unnecessary tool of the whole lot, but I bought it anyways. It is a 2-pack of the Silly glue stick. Now, anybody that's been doing woodworking for any amount of time probably has heard of the brand Silly. Most of their stuff is pretty good quality, and I don't doubt the quality of this product. More just their entire existence, really. Like, why? But according to Silly, the why is, while there are other glue applicators available, none of them work quite like or nearly as well for small glue ups like the Silly glue sticks. So obviously these are silicone, meaning they're gonna be super easy to clean up. And all that I know because I've been using a Silly brush for years now. What I don't know is how well these are really gonna work for dowels and biscuits. To find that answer, I'm gonna turn to acrylic again. I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but I've gone ahead and done 2 biscuits in the acrylic as well as 2 dowel holes. We're gonna use this for applying glue for the biscuit and this for applying glue in the dowel. And then we'll also use the methods that I use when I'm normally doing these processes. First, let's use this little dude. I guess you put glue on it, maybe? That doesn't seem right. And I guess you're supposed to just try to do this. I don't know. Let's see what happens when I put this biscuit in. Let me show you how I do a biscuit normally, and how probably a lot of people do a biscuit. I give it one of these, boop, like that. And then I take the biscuit and I shove it in there. That works. Put the macro lens on, and this is when I just squeeze the glue in with the glue bottle. And you can kind of see, surprisingly, the glue doesn't really get up in this top area. Let's turn this around. There's a little bit of glue up here at the top. This is more interesting in the sense of I might need to look further into how I do my biscuits. Same thing with the dowels. First, using the Silly glue stick. Okay, make sure you got a good coat on there. Then we'll put the dowel in, maybe. Gonna have to put a little bit of a lead on the dowel, I think. All right. Okay, it's bottomed out. Now, the way I normally do it. That, put a little dollop in there like that. Put this in there. We're bottomed out now. All right, do the macro thing again. Kind of the same story. I mean, neither of them have very good glue dispersion, I guess you'd say. Doing it my method, big mess. Doing it using the Silly stick, no mess at all. The top of the dowel is very clean. The problem is still pretty poor glue dispersion. Spoiler, this probably ain't gonna be the most recommended. So if I'm being honest, most of these tools I bought for the sake of making this video, but this tool I was actually really excited to buy. It is the Hongdui GD05 glue shovel, and its sole purpose in life is for scraping hardened glue. Hongdui is slowly working its way into most people's shop. Jonathan Katzmostis has partnered with them on multiple tools. I was really excited to get my hands on this one. One thing that I think is really cool is they actually put the carbide bits inside the handle, so you can actually store a spare one there. Okay, well, give it a shot. All right, now, I don't have a bunch of dried glue on the pieces, like I just got done gluing all those. So I do have this random piece that one day my son was just playing around in the shop and he decided he wanted to glue a piece of wood to another piece of wood. This is more like a craft glue. I think you're supposed to just press it on there and scrape. I don't know if you're supposed to go forward or backwards. Not working like I thought it would. Maybe I need to put more of an angle on it. There's no instructions. I mean, this is softer wood, so maybe with hardwood it works. Maybe it's just this craft glue isn't great. No, I mean, it had a 4.4. Somebody knows how to use this dang thing. Maybe it's just user error. I don't know. I don't see why this would be a problem, but I'm gonna try just turning it to a new side. Well, that does actually seem much better. Huh. Okay. All right, it does seem to be working a lot better now that I rotated it around once. So move on. Next tool. I'm really not looking forward to this next tool. I just have a feeling it's gonna make a huge mess. Well, it's gotta be done. Next tool is this. This is the portable woodworking glue roller with stand and flow control switch. Okay, I opened it upside down apparently. Oh wait, maybe not. Okay, you get the base, the handle. Oh, you get a spare roller too, it looks like. So that's cool. The handle just screws onto the back like this. There's no instructions in the box, so there's that. But I know that this sits in there like that, I think. So to test this puppy out, I went and got some veneer. So the main thing that we're going to be doing is seeing how quickly and how evenly I can coat these pieces. I don't know how it works, so let's just see what happens if I... Oh, okay, it's starting to flow. But it... Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. What's happening? Oh, okay, you can't stop. If you stop, that's bad. How do I make it stop? You can put it there when you're not wanting to use it, but the glue is still flowing. So, yeah. I don't know how I feel. I'll have to sit and think about this, but I mean, it's still dripping out. I don't understand. I don't know if I really want to pour that back into here. So that's a lot of glue that I'm gonna waste. We're supposed to be able to clean that foam roller and keep reusing it, I think. So let me clean this thing up and we'll see how easy it cleans up. Real quick before I clean it, this is what I'm talking about. Continuously like oozing out of there. That was kind of a pain in the butt, but it did wash out. I wouldn't say that the roller is a one-time use. I think I got it pretty clean. It's just how long would it take for this thing to dry now? Next tool. So I think this next tool might be a little bit more practical than the last one. It is the Silly Glue Roller and Tray. It does come with instructions, which is kind of cool. Pour your glue, apply glue to roller, roll on glue. Now one thing that's kind of interesting, according to the listing, it says, it doesn't matter if you're an arts and crafts hobbyist, a professional woodworker, or model making enthusiast. This combo pack will be a useful tool when you need to perform larger glue ups on your projects. Now, they don't make any mention of mediocre YouTuber, but I'm gonna try to use it anyways. And seeing how this is very similar to the last tool, I think it's only fair we do the same thing. Let's glue up some veneers. This thing definitely earns points for being like a cute little paint roller. So I guess we just kind of roll it in there, and then I guess we just roll it on. Okay. It does not go that far. Once the glue gets tacky, this doesn't roll very good, so something to keep in mind. They say that these grooves that they have on it prevent glue from just like running off really quick. And that looks to be the case, you know, in comparing it against the last tool that we looked at. I have way more control with this. You know, it being a silly product that's made of silicone, so it should clean up really easy. And as I suspected, no real issues. The fact that you could let the glue dry on this, that's something I don't think you could say for the last one that we tested. Let's move on. This might be a little premature, but this next tool might end up being the most recommended tool. It is the complete silly glue kit. It really seems like this kit is made to cover nearly all types of glue ups. I've had the original silly brush for a really long time, so I don't think I really need to go over these. They work great. Something I have no experience with though is this silly comb and squeegee. I'm really interested to see how well it can do covering larger flat surfaces, kind of like the last two tools that we've tested. So I got this really interesting piece of veneer. It's like silver. I don't know what kind of wood that is. Let me know if you know. Pour a little bit into our silly tray. And I think you're just supposed to kind of dip this in there like that. And then just spread. Maybe I just need to get a lot more on there. Spread. This is not very impressive. Okay, I've seen enough. Let me save the time. This is gonna clean up just as easy as any other silly product. It's made of silicone. The glue won't stick to it. We're gonna move on to the next tool. Now, this next tool, a smarter man probably would have made it the first tool. It is the silly mat. And as you might have guessed by now, it's made of silicone.
You just blew my mind.
Roll it out. Get this out of the way. So one thing, like because it is a mat, I'll point out, it's got a little bit of memory over here. Aesthetically, I don't like it. But according to the listing, it says it works really good with wood or polyurethane glues. So of course, I'm gonna spill a bunch of crap on it and see what sticks. First thing, probably the most common wood glue out there, Titebond 2. Okay, another one that a lot of people have is super glue or CA glue. That maybe will stick. This is kind of becoming a popular glue. Titebond's Quick and Thick. Oh, man, I need to put this in a glue bot, huh? A little bit of that on there. 2-part epoxy there. And just in case, you know, I don't know, put some liquid nail on there too. This stuff's supposed to like stick to everything, so that's pretty stirred up. Let's go ahead and give it a little bit of time and see if all that comes off. All right, and since I got other tools to look at, I'm gonna go ahead and move this off my workbench and I can get to the next tool. So when I saw this next tool, I thought, what a waste of money. And I had to have it. The silly glue pod and 3 micro brushes. Gotta put some glue on this thing. Close this up. Little scrap piece of cherry here. This is supposed to be for very small detail work. I think this is a good detail. Okay. So as you can see, it's a perfect happy face. Very high quality. Now the chisel one. So this is supposed to be like general purpose gluing, you know? And I think these ridges are supposed to help keep the glue from dripping off, which seemed to work pretty good. And then kind of just, I don't know about that. It kind of just pulls the glue off with it. And then the chisel one. Now this is supposed to be for like box joints, dovetails, getting in those little crevices. So let's just go ahead and put it on its side to kind of show that. And then you can just kind of, I don't know. Again, I think the coolest part of this is the glue pod. As these things are dripping off, right? Okay, and then you can just take this and put it right on like that. I didn't even think about this, but like maybe you're some kind of like traveling person. That's really cool to have this little neat container. Yeah, moving on. Next tool. All right, so we've looked at some pretty cool tools, I think, and some not so cool. They all did several different things, right? Can you make one purchase that covers all of these and maybe even a little bit more? Well, I think that's what Rockler was thinking when they made this, the glue bottle applicator kit from Rockler. So first thing, I gotta give it to Rockler, okay? That is a lot of things for $25. Another thing they say is all of these attachments fit onto a 16 or 32 ounce like tight bond container. Obviously, let's test that. That's what they say. That's what they claim. Does it actually work? Well, yeah, I think it does. Another thing that I think is just a really cool feature, this funnel, okay? I don't know if any of you out there have ever tried pouring like a big container like this into a bottle like this, but if you're not careful, you got a big mess real quick. So the fact that they send a funnel so you got this larger target is, I just think that's really cool. So yeah, I mean, I think the only way of testing this is to basically do everything that we've done using just what we see here. Now, I'm pretty sure we need to probably get it full. Doesn't have any of that fancy glue bot technology. Now, this is made of like a hard plastic, so I don't know if you need to rinse it off right away. All attachments are made from easy to clean materials, HDPE plastic, polypropylene, silicone, and thermoplastic rubber. Probably best to just rinse them off when you're done with them. First, let's start with the standard tip actually. It's already got a hole put in it. Put it on there, squeeze. Wow, okay. Yeah, so you can get a very thin line. So now we'll put that on, and I think it just, oh, whoa. It just kind of presses on there. Hold it tightly. Okay, if you care about a perfect little line, I mean, there it is. I don't give a shit, but you might. So the centering thing works great. All right, next one. I'm not gonna do the mortise thing because I don't have a domino. So yeah, joke's on me.
Help me, I'm poor.
Silicone brush applicator. And let it ooze out. I don't know about that one. So the thing that's different when you're using this versus like the silly brush, when you're using the silly brush, you'll put your glue on and then you use the brush. And so you know how much glue is there. This makes it kind of hard to see how much glue's coming out. It does work though, it works. It definitely works. And the next one is this roller attachment. And we're gonna do the same thing. I got this like, actually, yeah, no, yeah, no. Well, I don't really, there's some like, I didn't really care about this veneer, if I'm being honest. I bought it just for the sole purpose, but then like, check this out. Like some of this is like curly maple. But yeah, whatever. Do like this and you just kind of squeeze it. And I just don't know how you get it to spread out. I guess maybe if you really cared, you would get it started on another one. It just takes a little bit to get it primed, and I'm still not getting a lot of glue on these edges. I would say you need to clean it right away. And then it's got a cleaning brush, which is really cool. Let me give you a close-up of what that brush looks like. Let me get this glue off my hand first. If it seems like the back end of this video I've been going really fast, it's because I have been, because it's getting hot in my shop and I'm ready to be done with this. So, but let me show you this brush real quick. It's got like a little broom down here, and then something to actually get down in there. So that's cool. Cool. Another thing, this did not come with the other kits, so really cool that they include a brush for cleaning. That's all the tools. Time to rank them. All right, so I've had a few days to reflect on my rankings, and the winner of the most meh tool is the Hongdui GD05. I think a lot of the problems I had with it were probably user error. The fact that it didn't come with any instructions or anything like that makes it kind of hard for you to know whether it's the tool or this tool, I guess. Number 4 is going to be the complete silly glue kit. I don't have much to say. The comb, pretty useless. Number 6 kind of hurts me, but it's actually going to be the glue pod. I did find out it holds glue pretty well. After 3 or 4 days, the glue was still perfectly fine, but I would not recommend the kit. Just get a glue pot. I think they're like 10 bucks. You don't need the brushes. Number 3, the glue bot. Hate me if you want, but I just don't think it's as revolutionary as FastCap might portray it. Number 7, that thing. For some people it might be really useful. For me, I think it would be very rare that I actually need it in my shop. Number 2, the silly mat. Now, I really think having a mat could be number 1 on a lot of people's list. This one's 50 bucks, so it's kind of part of the ranking, and don't put super glue on it. Number 8, the silly glue roller and tray. Pretty much for the same reason that this is number 7. I don't see a use for something like this in my shop, and if I did have a use for it, I wouldn't choose this to try to cover large spaces. I'd use something like this. And number 9, this DCT syringe. Again, I don't have a use for something like that in my shop, and I don't know who really does. So number 1, is it going to be the Rockler set or the silly stick? The Rockler kit just covers so many glue applications for 25 bucks. It's hard not to put it at the top of this list. And the silly stick, I'm sorry, I think it's a complete waste of money. Don't buy it. But you know what's not a complete waste of money? These tools right here. Bye.